Hey everyone, it's Deja from CrochetEverAfter.com. Today I'm doing a review on these Knitter's Pride knit blockers. So I saw these in a Pattern Works magazine and I had to have them. They looked so awesome that I bought them right on the spot, and I wanted to show you guys these so that you could see. It's a little difficult in the pictures that I've seen online to tell what these pins are really like, so I wanted to show you that and also use it for a project so I could let you know how well I liked them. But what these are knitting blockers or crochet blockers. So normally when you block something, you take your, let me show you what I use, these rust proof sewing pins, and you have to do one at a time all the way across. You use lace wires if you're using a lace project, whatever it may be, but usually you have these pins that you're using one at a time. These are also rust resistant, but they take the pins and they put them in a big old line. So you can see that these are also, let me get this one out for comparison. They look pretty much the same thickness. Maybe just a tad bit thicker. Let me move this so you can see against the white. Maybe just a tad bit thicker than the sewing pin, but not enough to where it's going to leave like a hole in your project. And what you do is when you're going, instead of pinning one at a time, you take this and you pin it right in. So if you have a straight project, you're going to be able to make it much straighter because you're not having to do each pin individually. And it comes with quite a few. So I have 12 with the 8 pins, and then I have 8 with 4 pins. So this looks really handy. I think it's got foam in the bottom that these are sticking into, because when I push them in, they kind of stick. Yeah, there's a little foam block in the bottom. And they all fit nicely in this little container. So I'm really excited to try these out and see how well they help me and how quickly I can block something. So I'm going to get a project that I need to block and try these out, and I'll show you how they look. You can see that I've blocked up this blanket here. This is the Rainbow Baby Blanket. In case you like it, it's in my shop under the website, so just head over to the shop and you'll see it. I'm going to also block onto some foam boards, but I wanted to use my block and roll mat just to see how well these pins stuck in, because they are a little bit thicker and they hold fine into the mat. Once I pull out the pins, I'm going to check and see how the holes look in the mat. But you can see these are great for a large project. I have them kind of in the corners, the larger pieces holding my corners out, and then spacing everything else around. So they're holding very well. I'm going to go ahead and block a scarf on a foam mat so you can see that as well, with some lace wires, because they say this is great for lace wires, because you can just put your wire in along the edge and then use a couple of your knit blocks to put them in. So we'll do that, and I'll show you that, and I'll show you how the holes look on the block and roll mat after I pull these out. Okay, I pulled the pins out. You can kind of see the holes and the divots where the pins were taken out. So you can see they're kind of large. Let me see if I sit there, because I finally found the instructions to this inside my bag. It wasn't inside the actual holder for this. So they don't quite seem to be coming out. Maybe over time they'll kind of work themselves back together. Doesn't seem like quite as large as they did a second ago, but they do leave the holes, so we'll have to see how well this holds up with using those blockers. But I'm going to go ahead and use it on a foam mat, which should work perfect, and I'll show you how that looks. Okay, I've got my second project blocked up with the knit blockers now, and you can see that I'm using some lace wires to get my edges straight. So these work fantastic with the lace wires. It's so easy to just stick a big pin in it rather than using the little single pins and trying to get the lace wires straight. This kind of helps to keep it straight because it's so wide that it forces your lace wires to kind of go in a straight line. So if that makes any sense, hopefully. But also another thing that I love is my ends. So before, to get my ends nice and straight over here, I would have to do tons of pins all the way across the side because I could not use my lace wires. But because these are so wide, I put 2 on the end and I've got a straight edge. So far I am loving these things. They go great in the foam boards. They, you know, are like cemented in there once you get them in there. So I really like these knit blockers. I'm going to see how well they come out of the board and see what the boards look like afterwards. So once this dries up, I'll let you know how the boards look. Okay, pull the blockers out of my mat, and you can see right along here is where the pins came out of, and you can see kind of these other spots here, so you can see the difference in size from a normal pin to the knit blocker. I don't think it's that big of a difference. It works so well that I don't care if it tears up my mats because I'll just get some new ones, because this cuts down on so much time of pinning, especially with the lace wires or getting straight edges. You can also use these on shaped projects. So this has the little instructions inside, and they have a picture of how you can use this if you're doing something with a different, you know, with like a pointy edge. So you would put your lace wire through that edge that you need to put out. So you can see over here, you're putting it straight across here, and then you're putting it in at those points that you need to hold. So you can use it for a variety of different things, but I really am liking these. I will be using these very, very often, so I'm sure if you see any blocking in any of my videos, this is probably what I'll be blocking with. But I highly recommend them. You can check them out more through the link below, and let me know if you have some and if you like them. But thanks for watching.